Have you ever underestimated the quietest person in the room, not realizing they were the one holding all the power? Hi, I'm Jennifer Chin, and this is the story of how I learned that sometimes the quietest person in the room holds the most power. For 15 years, I worked behind the scenes at Chin Global Solutions, the tech company my brother Michael Chin and I inherited from our father. While Michael became the charismatic face of the company, I built our empire from the shadows. And sometimes, it's only from the shadows that you see people's true colors. I still remember when it all began, when our company was nothing more than a small IT consulting firm in an old warehouse in Silicon Valley. Dad had built it from scratch, teaching himself to code while working 3 jobs after we immigrated from Taiwan just to keep us afloat. Michael was always the golden child, charming, outgoing, destined for greatness. I was the quiet one, spending weekends coding while he was out at parties. When our father passed away 5 years ago, he left us equal shares of the company. "Take care of each other," he said in his final days. "Together, you can build something extraordinary." What he didn't know was that I had already been working on something extraordinary, a revolutionary ad-driven cybersecurity system that would transform our tiny firm into a billion-dollar empire. The problems began 3 years ago when Michael met Victoria at a tech conference. She was everything I wasn't. Tall, elegant, with an MBA from Stanford University and a resume lined with top companies. Within 6 months, they were married. Within a year, she convinced Michael she should join the company. "Vicky has amazing financial management experience, Jen. We need someone like her to help us grow," he said excitedly. I nodded and swallowed my objections. He didn't know I had already secured funding deals and had our growth strategy in place. Victoria started as a financial consultant, but her ambitions were clear from the start. She pushed her way into executive meetings, voiced opinions on everything, and slowly stacked leadership roles with her business school friends. I watched quietly from my office, focused on our technology and clients. To her, I wasn't a founder or innovator, just Michael's quiet sister. The tension grew until last week's party, the moment everything changed. Victoria had just been appointed CFO and threw a lavish party at the Four Seasons, filled with Silicon Valley's elite. I arrived early in a simple black dress. She dazzled in designer couture. As I approached to congratulate her, she turned to a Stanford friend and said loudly enough for everyone nearby, "Why is the cleaning maid here? This is an executive party." I felt the ripple of awkward glances. Michael stood nearby, visibly uncomfortable, but said nothing. His silence hurt more than her words. Victoria smirked. "Oh, right, you're Michael's sister. You're always hiding in that back office. I hardly ever see you at important company functions. I suppose someone has to handle the technical details." I didn't cry. I didn't lash out. I smiled, raised my glass, and said, "Congratulations on your new position, Victoria. I'm sure tomorrow will be very interesting." That night, in my home office, I opened my laptop and pulled out documents I had hoped never to use. The truth was, Victoria had never bothered to study the company's ownership structure. 3 years ago, when we needed capital, Michael sold me 17% of his shares. He was so eager to impress her that he signed without reading the fine print. I now owned 67% of Chin Global Solutions. I worked through the night, emailing board members, calling legal counsel, preparing announcements. The next morning, when Victoria triumphantly arrived for her CFO orientation, she found me seated at the head of the table, alongside board members on video call and a pale-looking Michael. "Actually, Victoria," I said calmly, "we need to discuss some changes in the company's structure." I projected the documents. "As majority shareholder, I am implementing a corporate restructuring." She laughed in disbelief until she saw the ownership breakdown. Her face twisted from shock to fear. Michael lowered his gaze. "It's true. I sold Jen part of my shares." With a steady voice I said, "Your position as CFO is terminated, effective immediately." 2 security guards entered. Victoria shouted, begged, accused, but nothing changed. She was escorted out while I, the quietest person in the room, took control. In the following weeks, I rebuilt the team, shifted our focus back to innovation, and our stock price soared. Michael and I started working together again like we used to. A year later, Chin Global Solutions has tripled in value. Our security system has become the industry standard. Michael handles PR, while I lead innovation. Recently, I delivered the keynote at a major tech conference. Looking out at hundreds of faces, I said, "Success isn't about being the loudest voice in the room. It's about being the most observant, the most prepared, and sometimes, yes, the quietest." True power isn't in titles. It's in knowing your worth and standing your ground when it matters most. Sometimes I think about Victoria. Today she works at a small startup, still telling everyone she was once the CFO of our company. But she never understood that leadership isn't about the title you hold, it's about the value you create. On my desk sits Dad's photo. His kind eyes remind me of his last words. Take care of each other. And that's exactly what I did. I took care of our company, our legacy, and yes, even my brother. The cleaning maid, it turns out, knew exactly what she was doing all along. If this story inspired you, hit like, subscribe, and ring the bell for more powerful stories, Yellowheart. And remember, sometimes the quietest person in the room is the one who holds all the power.